I see you have it. Oh my, got it. All right. Okay, good.
What is the history of the New York Triathlon and what makes it one of the most popular triathlons in the world? I'm Hillary Topper, and this is Hillary Topper on Air, the Endurance Sports Edition. Today, I have the great pleasure of speaking with Ron Darris, who's the race director at New York Tri. Welcome to the show, Ron.
Good afternoon.
So, can you tell our listeners a little bit about your background?
Sure. Um, well, about 20 some odd years ago, I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Ooh, you got high blood pressure. Ooh, you're borderline diabetic. Ooh, you're overweight. Ooh," kept giving me all these oohs, and I go, "Oh my goodness." So, like any doctor, prescribed some medication, and my body just didn't accept it. So I told her that at the time, this medication is making me jittery. So we spoke, and she said, "Well, you're going to do diet, you're going to do exercises." So I said, "Okay." So my son at the time was doing cross country, and I asked him, "What'd you do today, Russell?" He goes, "Well, I did a fartlek, I did some repeats, I did some scenics." I go, "What? What's that all about?" So I did a little running, and again, the medication I wasn't doing good. So I weaned myself off, told the doctor I was doing it, and she wasn't very happy. But 3 months later, my blood pressure went down, my diabetic, and everything was good. So I figured, oh, let me see what's going on. So my wife's cousin, a gentleman had said, "Oh, you should try doing a duathlon or a triathlon." I go, "What the heck is that?" So I got involved that way, and I enjoyed it. So for 20 years now, I've been running and swimming, and as my wife says, a whole bunch of jumping jacks.
Awesome. So, tell us about New York Triathlon.
Again,
When did
20 years ago, I I went to a class. A gentleman by the name of Neil Cook, a great guy, still competing. He said, "Oh, you got to volunteer first to see what's all about." So I volunteered for quite a few races, and New York Triathlon was in the city. Well, basically the name of the company is Big Apple Triathlon, aka New York Triathlon Club, and was helping the people out there. And the gentleman Dan Honig was going to retire, and I said, "What? Retire?" He says, "Yeah. Why don't you take it over?" I don't know anything about race director. What do I know about it? He says, "Well, you've been doing it for 20 years. You better know something." So I pulled the short straw and became the race director for the past 7 years now.
Wow, that's amazing. So, how does New York Triathlon courses compare to other triathlons? And what are some of the unique challenges that athletes face during the race?
Well, we're sprints. We're basically sprints. So the winners do it in under an hour, and everyone else takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours to do it. And some people, of course, are happy that they finish within 2 hours. So it's a nice mix for the trained competitor. They're using it for transition, working on their speed, working on trying to improve their run game, bike transition. And for the first timer, they just want to finish. They enjoy, "Oh, I had a great time. This is a lot of fun." And the competitor says, "Hey, I really did nice on the bike today. I was able to get some good miles in."
So, can you share some training tips and strategies that athletes can use to prepare for the New York Triathlon, both physically and mentally?
Well, I tell people starting out, if you can run and you can bike and you can swim, you can do a race. But if you want to really, what they call a PR, personal record, you train. And I tell people, the new people, to start off as simple as brushing your teeth. Just get used to walking around the block, then jog around the block, then run around the block, get into a pool and just swim a few laps. And then we do have New York Tri for All training sessions. They're on our website. and it's a group of guys and gals in Manhattan. They do work. They actually train on a race course for Manhattan, which is the duathlons and triathlons, and they train you for the event. So that's nice to actually train on the course.
What are some notable moments or performances from past editions of the New York Triathlon? And what can we expect from future races?
That's a tough question. The reason it's a tough question because the parks always throw curveballs at us, like the Central Park Triathlon. They closed the pool. It'll be open next year, so we'll be able to use the pool again. The parks are always doing construction on it. That was nice. They repaved Prospect Park, so the bikers commented how smooth the course was this year, as opposed to bumps and holes and things that they had to dodge. We're trying to different venues, different parks to break up so it's not too monotonous, and you have a good aspect of what's in store. And of course, like anything, everyone wants to, I shouldn't say everyone, a lot of people like to PR. So I can, if I try this, I'll try that. I'll try this, I'll try that. And that's what we do with a lot of people. They come back and say, I beat my time by 1 minute. That's great. Or I didn't feel good. It took me 5 minutes longer. So it's fun. And they really, our saying is swim, bike, run, have fun. And that's what it's all about. Enjoying the event, having camaraderie with other people, talk about different techniques that they've tried and different new bicycles. Of course, now the bicycles are getting lighter and faster. And so the engine, can take advantage of it.
Awesome. Well, before we move on, I need to say that I am so appreciative of our sponsor. Please support our sponsor and tell them that you heard about them on Hillary Topper on Air. Special thanks to Bold Foot Socks, a family and veteran-owned American-sewn, American-grown sock company. Now back to you, Ron. So can you talk to us a little bit about some of the races that you have that are different and interesting in New York City?
Well, first off, Manhattan, I believe there could be some other races that I'm not aware of, but Manhattan Central Park, we have, let me count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 races in Central Park.
Wow.
And like I said before, the Central Park triathlon, being the pool, is one of the most famous ones. And that's been going on for over 30 years. Then we have the duathlon series, the March Classic, the Central Park, and the New York City Duathlon. That's a series. And we have a unique race, which is a relay involving rowboats in Central Park. That's always fun. That people will get into a little bike, run, and then together they row a boat in Central Park. That's good. It's almost like bumper cars. They knock into each other, but they have fun. They really, and you see all sorts of little people putting their hands in the water trying to make the boat go faster.
That's great.
One person has one oar, another person has one oar, and they try to go straight, and that doesn't kind of work. But this year, we have I have a new idea that you're going to hear it first here. We have a lot of Achilles people who do our races. Amazing people. I don't think they have any fear. Amazing. They get on that bike and they move as fast as they can, and they're on the run. I would be afraid I'd trip over a rock or go into pothole. They're dynamite. So this year I'm gonna add a tiller with a rudder on the back of it so that the Achilles person can row and the sighted person can guide the boat. So that's what we're going to do this year to help
I
out
love that.
everybody to race and enjoy it. It's a fun event.
I love that. That's great. Now you also have something in Far Rockaway. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. During COVID, we tried to get some more local races in the Long Island area. So we have a race called the Cross Bay Triathlon Duathlon, and we also have the Rockaway Beach Triathlon Duathlon. And they're the same race. They're at B84th Street in Rockaway, excuse me. And May 20, I should know this on top of my head. May 21st is the Cross Bay, and the other Rockaway is September 17th. So those are two races. And the boardwalk is concrete. It's fast, smooth, not flat, but a nice incline. And you can really, it's not a heads down race, but you can really do some time. And like anything, if Mother Nature is with you, the wind's not going to bother you. If it's not, you might as well be going up Mount Everest or something like that. But,
right, exactly.
It's a sprint race. What's nice, it's along the shore. We have a great group of lifeguards, and they're out there also. And then we have the New York Water Patrol out there also. So it's a nice, safe swim, parallel. And we only go 6 feet high. So if you're a little unsure with the water, just come to the beach, rest, and then you can continue your race. We don't like to penalize people because they're not strong swimmers. We're there to people have fun. You want to go out there, we're not going to penalize you because you took a breather.
I love that. That's awesome. So tell us about New York Tri's support of local charities and community organizations through the New York Triathlon, and what impact has it had on the broader community?
Well, we are a nonprofit, so the monies that are raised go to the next race. So it's like a domino effect. The money is from one race, goes to the next race, goes to the next race. We do have the Rocco Laurie Foundation in Staten Island, a police officer who was assassinated, basically, and we've been supporting them to see, and that money goes for different schools and different after-school activities, scholarships, and that's helpful. Other than that, we have a good group of people who we help out from time to time.
That's awesome. All right. So how can athletes get involved with New York Tri as volunteers and supporters of New York Triathlon? And what opportunities are available to help make an event a success?
Oh, let me think about that for a second. The website is nytri.org. And if you go to our website, you'll see on the top of the website events, click on events and pick an event that you can feel schedule wise for dates and go to that date. When you register online, there's an option that says volunteer. Click on volunteer and you'll be able to volunteer. Our policy is if you volunteer for a race, you get a free race. Doesn't matter if it's a duathlon or a triathlon, no points involved. We are a nonprofit, so there is no money involved back and forth. The plus is, like I said before, if you're new to the sport, volunteer for a couple of races and you'll be able to see what the fast people do. Male and female, I'm telling you, there's all ages, all sizes. And we do the top 5 awards for both male and female. The idea that you help out is a good practice too. You know, you get to see what the leaders do in the race. And what was the other part of that question?
You know, basically, well, what I just want to like couple off of what you said in terms of the volunteer. I think you're so spot on about that. I kind of wish that I had volunteered before I did my first triathlon, because I did my first triathlon. I had never seen a triathlon before. So it was like, what? This is crazy. But no, I think that that's a really good thing to volunteer. And I also love that by volunteering for your race that you get a race. So that's,
Yes.
you give back and you get one. So that's really awesome. Um,
Let me just one little comment.
yeah.
Like you, I didn't know what a triathlon was, except for I knew Kona, the Ironman in Hawaii. So I'm helping out at a race, and it was an early morning race, and the swim was first. So this man comes out of the water with his speedo bathing suit on, whatever, right? He comes up, all of a sudden he rips off the speedy bathing suit, and I go, what? And throws on some running shorts. And I said, oh my goodness, this is what these races are about? But that's not true. People race with their swimsuits and on, but it was a little bit of a shock.
Wow. That's crazy. Um, can you tell people how they can get in touch with you and learn more about New York Triathlon?
Sure. Our website, nytri.org, is one way. Also, there's a little comment where you can ask questions, info, at nytri.org. And myself or George will be able to help you out with any questions you may have for per race. The idea that you can contact us anytime, and we'll get back to you hopefully within 24 hours, hopefully.
No, I totally get it. I mean, you guys are so busy putting on, especially this time of year, putting on all these races. So we all appreciate you. Thank you for what you do. And thank you for being on the show and talking to, us about New York Triathlon. I also want to thank our sponsor one more time, Boldfoot Socks, a family and veteran-owned, American-sewn, American-grown sock company. For more information, go to boldfoot.com. I also want to thank our listeners for tuning in. And if you want more information on this show or any other show, visit hillarytopper.com or find us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon Alexa, Apple Podcasts, you name it, we're out there. Have a great week and we'll see you next time.